Okay, so a lot of people have asked me about some of my recipes that I make that are sugar free. Let me get a little more light on the subject here. I don't know. Anyhow, today I have a sugar free cheesecake that I'm going to make. Well, maybe it's kind of no sugar added. What we're going to do today is we've got sugar free Cool Whip. I have 2 packages of cream cheese. I am using Kroger's brand because it works just as well as any other pudding mix. But it's Kroger's chocolate pudding mix that is sugar free. I have, I did do a graham cracker crust and it's ready to go. And I just used a Keebler one. You can make your own if you want. I did this. There's very little sugar in it, so it works. I have a 1 1/4 cup of milk. And I am using Truvia as opposed to regular sugar. And the recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of sugar. But because I'm trying to make this sugar-free or as sugar-free as possible so that those that are diabetic, those like me who have had bariatric surgery, those who are just trying to watch what they eat but yet still want a very good, very tasty recipe that maybe they can use for holidays or special events, or just because you want something sweet but you don't want all the extra sugar and fat. This recipe is really super easy. So basically all we're going to do is we're going to open our pudding mixes, and I'm going to put it into a large measuring cup for this, because that way when I add it to the cream cheese mix, it will be easier to add. Of course, I open the package and I fly it everywhere, make a mess. I was gonna go live on Facebook and do this, but I know a lot of people are probably not home because they're out doing their Christmas shopping, or maybe they're still at church events, or maybe they're just watching football, which I actually am kind of watching football while I'm doing this. I'm a huge Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, which most of you who know me know that. But unfortunately, Tampa is losing right now, and they haven't had a very good year. Ha, that's surprising. Tampa doesn't have very good years. They're kind of like, I have no room to talk about the Browns when they play, because Tampa doesn't have a lot of room to talk on that, but I still love them. Will always be a fan of the Buccaneers, no matter what, kind of like the Brownies. Everybody who's a fan of the Brownies are always going to be fans of the Browns. And that's how I feel about Tampa. So let me grab a bowl out for my cream cheese real quick. Now, I didn't take my cream cheese out probably as early as I should have, because I kind of was sitting here getting ready, trying to figure out what I wanted to do today. I'm kind of home by myself, me and the dogs. So I made the decision to go ahead and do this. So if you didn't take your cream cheese out to get it to room temperature, you can do what I'm about to do, which is throw it in the microwave for just a little bit while we're getting the pudding ready. A minute or two will soften up your cream cheese enough so that you can use it instead of leaving it sit out. A lot of people don't really like stuff sitting out because, you know, it is cream cheese, and some people are kind of funny about that, but you can leave it come up to room temperature. Just leave it out for an hour or so, and it'll come up to room temperature, and that will be perfect for you for this recipe. But like I said, I didn't know I was going to do this until just a few minutes ago, so I thought, well, we'll just do it here this way, and that way you can see that it will all work out really good. So we're sticking in the microwave. I'll be right back. Hang on a second. So meanwhile, while that is getting ready, we're going to take our 1 1/4 cup of milk and we're going to add it to our pudding mix. And all we're going to do, because it takes about 2 minutes to get that ready, basically all you're doing is incorporating the milk and the pudding mix in here. You don't really want to make the pudding or pie mix or whatever super puddingy, I guess. I don't know. It can be, but it's not a big deal. But you just want to stir it a little bit to get it ready to go. Only takes a minute or so and it'll all be good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our cream cheese out of the microwave then, and we are going to mix it with our pudding mix. You're going to add to the cream cheese after you beat it with the Truvia. Or if you're not really watching your sugar, you can use a regular pudding, and you can use regular sugar if you want, if you're not watching your sugar. Same with the Cool Whip. When we fold the Cool Whip into it, you can use regular whole fat sugared up Cool Whip if that's what you want to do. Like I said, myself, I'm trying to keep this all sugar free so that it is good to go, and myself and anybody who is diabetic, it'll be friendly for them. So hang on one second, let's get this out of here. And then what we're going to do with this is we're going to take our handy dandy little mixer here. Let me get it plugged in. And the cream cheese doesn't get real melty, but it does get easy enough for us to be able to use so that we can blend it with our sugar. We just want to blend this up a little bit. And then what we're going to do is take a little bit of our pudding mix here. I think I'm going to add just a little tiny bit more milk to this. Just to make it a little easier to pour. I think I only... the recipe I have was for a large container of pudding, and I didn't have the large container of pudding, so I had 2 smaller ones, which actually made it a little bit bigger than what I normally use. I usually use one of the large things of pudding, and I don't want to make it too big of a mess here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our pudding mix now and we're going to put it into our cream cheese. Now, I usually add some of it and then I mix a little bit and then I add the rest. That way it gets incorporated really well. Now you can do this any flavor you want. Say you don't like chocolate, you just want vanilla, or you want, you can do banana. You can do any flavor pudding that you want to use. Whatever your favorite is, that's what you want to use. Myself, I love chocolate. I am a huge chocolate fan. Now this pie, well, probably most likely I'll eat a little bit of it myself. But I'm betting a lot of this will end up at my job, which probably will make some people very happy because I am one to share. Now once you get this all mixed, then we're going to take a little bit of the Cool Whip and we're going to fold it in. Hey, I'm trying not to make too much of a mess here. Never fails, I always, when I use an electric mixer, I always make a mess. I don't know why, I just do. But hey, it's all good. So we'll open our Cool Whip now. Now, I don't beat the Cool Whip, because if you beat the Cool Whip, it obviously is going to make a big mess. So, or it's not gonna be a good consistency. So you want to take some of your Cool Whip, which we want to have it a little softer than what I have it, so we'll get it all ready here. It's not quite as soft as I wanted it to be, so mix this up a hair, and then we'll fold in my Cool Whip. You can even make your own whip topping if you want. And fold it in. That way you can use Dream Whip, Cool Whip, whatever you want to use. Trick is, make sure your Cool Whip is thawed. Unfortunately, I did not. So, guess what? I threw it in the microwave. Hey, microwaves are good things. You only need probably about half of this. You don't really need it all. But you can put as much in as you really want. I kind of eyeball it and go from there. And then I just fold my whipped cream into my cheesecake mix. It's kind of a thick mix, but it's kind of what you want for cheesecake. You want it thick. And this is going to be really, really good. Now, once you pour it into your crust, you want to set this in the fridge for, I'd say, about 4 hours to get a good consistency. And you want to, you know, make sure it's good and set. So if you're going to do this and you want to eat it right away, you could probably put it in the freezer for a little while. You can also make this, I know I've done smaller little individual cups and not even used the graham cracker before. I have done almost like a cheesecake mousse and served it in little ramekins without any crust, which for those that are gluten-free or those that maybe they don't like graham cracker crusts or a regular crust, or they're trying to really watch their carbohydrates or anything, you really don't need to have a crust. You could do this like a mousse. And that way, it's that way. Now, you can also make a topping for this. You could take chocolate chips, and Hershey's does make a sugar-free, well, I guess it's a no sugar added. I'm not sure exactly what they use in their chips to do it. But now, as you can see, it's a very good consistency. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to pour it into the pie crust that I prepared. And then we're just going to smooth it out. And we're going to stick it in the refrigerator for a few hours. And my top, I don't usually do like a big fancy thing on the top of this one. Because it's, you know, it's chocolate. You don't really need a whole lot on top of it. You can if you want. You can, like I said, you could put chocolate chips, or you could put cookies. You can put anything you want on top of it. But for this, I'm not going to put anything on top. We're just going to eat it just like this. It's like a chocolate pie. It'll be really good though. So there you have it. There's a quick, no cooked, no bake cheesecake that is going to be ready to go this evening for dessert. there you go. Stick it in the refrigerator, and you have a no-bake cheesecake ready to go. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and like I said, 15 minutes from start to finish, and you're ready to go. I hope you all have a blessed Sunday.